From the time we're kids, we are supposed to begin categorizing our lives and often ask, who do we want to be when we grow up? Some kids know exactly who they want to be in the future. They dream about becoming an actor, a singer, or a doctor, for example, but I was not one of them. I didn't have a specific talent I could develop or a dream profession I would like to be in, but I thought I would figure out who I want to be later on. I remember how much my grandpa wanted his grandkids to become dentists. For him, being a dentist was a symbol of a stable and prosperous life. But for me, that was not the life I was dreaming about, the life of a dentist. And in the end, none of his grandchildren became dentists for good or bad. And then it hit me. I didn't have a dream job. How about you? Many of us are hoping that by the time we're teenagers, we will know what to do with our lives, but usually that is not the case, and that's why we follow the conventional paths. Go to high school, then attend college, all the time thinking we're doing the right thing. Therefore, after I graduated high school, I got my bachelor's in computer sciences. That was one of the majors in a high demand, hence offering plentiful job opportunities after graduation. Plus, I thought I will eventually like programming. Well, I didn't. The time spent in college wasn't what I was imagining it to be. Most of the classes were redundant or super irrelevant to my major. If you ask me now, I would have rather attended modern courses that I could benefit from than studying subjects which are never used. When I was done with my studies, I started looking for my first full-time job,
I'm gonna go get one of those job things.
and it turned out that if I want to work for a good company and get a nice salary, I had to move to the capital since the options in my city were rather limited, and so I did. Finding my first corporate job wasn't that hard, but the salary wasn't that great either. The first days in the office were rather awkward for me, spending 8 hours sitting on a chair. It simply didn't feel natural. I was feeling like I was giving away my freedom. Most of us millennials change multiple jobs in order to get a better compensation, and that was valid for me too. I had to change multiple jobs since the typical annual pay raise in most firms is very minimum, and I wasn't really happy with it. Having a full-time employment turned out to be something I didn't like very much. Yes, I could do the work, but it wasn't what I was imagining it to be. And the constant pressure in which most IT professionals work didn't suit my cooperative nature. Yes, I had a good standard of living and I could afford traveling and buying the things I want, but I wasn't truly satisfied. I realized a few things during my years of job hopping. A 9 to 5 job is usually a 9 to indefinite hour. How many of you have worked overtime due to urgent tasks popping up in the last minute? And how many of you have been compensated for it without needing to ask? In Europe, most companies don't pay overtime. They don't pay hourly, but monthly. Hence, it doesn't matter if you work 40 or 70 hours a week, you'll get the same payment in the end of the month, since your salary is fixed.
What?
Yeah.
That isn't very motivating, is it?
Yeah. See your point.
Your sad desk job isn't only ruining your daily life, it could be impacting your sleep, happiness, and long-term health. You end up investing too much time and energy into jobs you don't really value. There are so many people who spend the majority of their days doing jobs they don't really love just because they think that is the only way of living. And there's always another option. Remember that. Nowadays, the need to be amongst the top performance and the immense competition favor the single individual players. And this type of corporate environment frequently becomes toxic and turn people against each other. The worst happens when people let their work dissatisfaction negatively affect their personal relationships. So many people cope with stress by turning to alcohol and drugs or trying to escape from their reality by overwatching TV, but we all know that this doesn't really help. I have a 27-year-old friend who dreams about retirement already so that he could have more spare time to do the things he actually enjoys, To me, it feels like you're putting your life on hold. I find that this is rather sad. Why not do the things you love while you're still young? Chances are you won't have the same wants and needs when you get older, neither the same type of energy. Why waiting to live when you retire? To me, this really seems like an absurd idea, especially in the uncertain times we live in. We don't know what happens tomorrow. How can you dream about retirement? What if it never comes? What if you never get there? Make the most of your time now. Enjoy the present. Don't dream about what happens tomorrow because tomorrow is never guaranteed and we need to really acknowledge this. This is the moment when we actually start living in the moment and take as much as we can because now is all we got. And we gotta realize that better sooner than later. There's so many people who live month by month, paycheck to paycheck. For them, full-time job means security, and some of them like their roles, which is completely fine. Good for them. But I don't have a dream job. I have a dream life. There were so many days when I couldn't help but think that there's something wrong with me. Am I the only one dreaming about life and not about labor? Am I? I really wanted to keep recording outside, but unfortunately the wind was too strong and the sound wasn't great, so I had to come back in. But let me continue what I was saying. I don't want to live for the weekend, having vacation twice a year. I want to have rest whenever I need it and be able to book a spontaneous holiday whenever I feel like it. I want to become location independent, have a flexible schedule, and more freedom. There were so many days when I didn't want to get out of bed, waking up with 3 alarms, feeling down and anxious about the upcoming day because it will be spent in the office, not necessarily doing what I enjoy, especially on sunny days when I wish to sit by the beach and enjoy the sun outside. Have you felt like that? So many people live to work instead of work to live. Many of us are told that we only deserve rest after hard work, but I think that working smarter is a much better approach than working harder. Work shouldn't be all about the hours you put in, but about the end results you achieve. Jobs are just like relationships. If it stresses you out and drains your energy, it's time to let it go. At least I think so. It is all a matter of choice to live on autopilot or take control and start navigating your life in the direction you want to go. If you don't have a dream job, don't worry. Focus on your next move. This is what I did. Be curious. Do your best every day to move closer to your goal. Choose what energizes you and makes you come alive. I dream about waking up, enjoying my loved ones, taking care of my body and mind, creating meaningful and inspiring content because I want to, not because I have a gun to my head. The fact that you hold a specific major and you're specialized in a particular industry doesn't mean you need to stay within the same field feeling unsatisfied. It is never too late to change your career if you want it bad enough. Life is temporary. Every job is temporary. You get to decide how you spend every year, every month, and every minute of your precious time. Choose wisely. In a world which tells you to dream about a life of labor, there's only one solution. Don't quit your daydream. Make it happen.